And joining us now is Bishop Jaime Soto of Sacramento, who is a community member of the Catholic Campaign for Human Development, also chair emeritus of the campaign.
Okay. Sure.
It sounds good. I think people might know the word Catholic Campaign for Human Development, but maybe if you could tell us a little bit about that for someone who might know the intricacies of
Right. Well, first of all, I want to say the Catholic Campaign for Human Development is approaching its 50th anniversary.
Wow.
And now most Catholics are familiar with CCHD, the Catholic Campaign, as a collection.
Yeah,
but I think it is important for people to realize that this effort, this campaign, is really the expression of the bishops and the Catholic community in support of people on the margins and people who are poor in the United States. And so this has been a 50-year effort to really stand with the poor, with the weak, with the marginalized. And this campaign has made a significant difference in terms of the church's presence among the poor in this country.
Yeah. Can you talk maybe about some particulars, some things that the campaign does?
One of the things that the campaign it does is it tries to work with communities that are at risk, families and neighborhoods where people are suffering from poverty, and more than just alleviate the consequences of poverty, hunger, homelessness, unemployment, but also to try to help communities, help neighbors work together to address some of the structural issues of how do we address issues like racism, and how do we look at how people can better engage their local governments, their school districts, or their city governments in addressing some of the issues of violence on their streets. And so that what's come out of the Catholic Campaign for Human Development is really the development of many leaders, lay men and women who really live out the gospel in a very concrete way and become prophets in their neighborhoods, helping to bring good news, not just to solve problems, but also to build neighborhoods.
Yeah, hey, you've been, as we said, a chair before and also a member too. What have you seen over the years? Do you see things, I guess, improving, or do you find things are more of an explosion of different things that come up over the years?
Well, I mean, I think that we're always sowing the seeds of the gospel, and sometimes, like the mustard seed or like the yeast and the dough, we don't always see the signs of its growth. But in fact, like, for example, in some of the in recent years, when some of our cities have exploded over racial issues, that in some of those areas, the folks who stepped forward to rebuild afterwards were folks from the Catholic Campaign for Human Development. Okay. We had a recent situation with in Flint, Michigan, with the whole terrible breakdown of the water system there. Yeah. And again, some of the more positive protagonists working to try to work for solutions were, again, people from the Catholic Campaign for Human Development that had been developed, who had been trained and developed over the years, gratefully, because of the support of the Catholic community for the Catholic Campaign for Human Development.
Yeah. Maybe wrapping things up, but just talk about the importance of having the bishops involved in this, and maybe some of your hopes in the future to see where the Catholic Campaign.
Well, I mean, we're there's a lot of worries and concerns about where public discourse is going in our country today. And my brother bishops and I are very convinced that the work that we do with the Catholic Campaign for Human Development is precisely the response that we need of trying to help people realize that they are not powerless, that we can work together to build stronger schools, safer neighborhoods, and that we can also learn to be good neighbors one with another. And that is, when we do that, then we all become richer.
Yeah. Well, Bishop, thank you so much for talking with us. We want to let people know usccb.org/CCHD, or povertyusa.org is the place
right.
to go to find out more about the Catholic Campaign for Human Development. Thank you so much, Bishop, for being with us.
Oh, my pleasure.